he was a warm and genuine friend. That, you know, like he could be a pain in the ass at times.
Yeah, because I mean,
so can we all.
Apparently, you are a very different person from him.
I never worked for him. You know, look, I may go about things differently. We're both very demanding. This whole notion of relentless pursuit of perfection. We expect a lot from our people. But we also, I think we shared a love of product. He used to take me to the Apple Design Lab. This is not in the book, but there is basically a design lab at Apple that he told me he would go to 3 or 4 times a day. I asked him when he brought me down there, I said, how often do you come down here? And I thought he would say like a couple of times a week. He said 3 or 4 times a day, which says a lot.
Yeah.
And at the time that I came down, they were designing a new MacBook, a new laptop.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a power connector to it that had a magnet on it.
Yeah, yeah. MagSafe.
Yeah. And it went, you heard the sound?
Yeah, yeah.
And he said, put your ear down to it. I put my ear down to the laptop. And he plugged it in. He pulled it out. He plugged it in. He pulled it out about 10 times. He said, do you hear that sound?
Yeah.
Isn't that a beautiful sound? Amazing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I appreciated that. You know, and at one point, I said to him, oh, you changed the indentation. You know, there's a little indentation that you can put your finger in to open the top.
Yeah.
I said, it looks like you changed the shape of that slightly. He couldn't believe that I had seen that. I noticed that. And so I think things like that I would appreciate the sound of a power connector, and that I would see the shape of the indentation had changed. And we talked colors, and so I think there was just a kinship. Yeah. And it didn't matter that we were very different people as long as we shared a passion for enough things. You know, he played a great Bob Dylan song.
Which one?
Well, his favorite that he expressed to me was Every Grain of Sand. Late Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Late Bob Dylan, yeah. Times There Are Changing and Rolling Stone are among my favorites. And Forever Young. Forever Young would be my other one. You know, at one point when he was ill, I was at his office. He was quite ill. And his assistant came in and said, Paul McCartney is on the phone. He loved the Beatles. And he said, you mind, I'm going to take this call. He left the office. He came back. And he said, that was Paul McCartney. He was calling to see how I was. And we both loved the Beatles. I told Paul that story not long ago so that Paul could say how much Steve appreciated him. Meanwhile, Paul said, that's Steve Jobs. So you have Steve looking up to Paul and Paul looking up to Steve. I wanted Paul to know how important that call was.